Hey guys, it's Morgan, and today I'm doing sort of a New Year's resolutions video. I kind of did this. I did 11 owned series that I want to reread or finish. None of those books are in this. This is all different books. I'm trying really hard to read all of my owned books. I did kind of a lot of buying of books this year. I think I accumulated probably a lot of books. Sorry if you hear that in the background. My stepmom was watching a movie very loud, but whatever. So there's 11 series in that video. I will link that below in case you want to watch that. And this is all new stuff. So like I said, I'm trying to read all my owned books, and I did buy a lot. And also for Christmas, I got a gift card for Book Outlet. I bought 20 books. Whoops. Anyway, this isn't really a tag that I've seen anywhere else. I took some questions from different tags and added my own to total 18. I wanted 18 questions for 2018. So the first question is a new author that I'd like to read. So I chose Kristen Simmons. She wrote Graceling. I bought this in August, I believe. I haven't read it. My friend liked this series, and I have heard that the series is really good. So I would love to read a book by Kristen Cashore. Question 2 is just a book I'd like to read, and I'd like to read Icons by Margaret Stohl. She is the co-author of Beautiful Creatures, the series. So I found this book at a thrift store. I found out that it was an ARC after I bought it, but it does sound really good, so I would like to read this book. Question 3 is a classic I'd like to read. I would really love to read Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. This has 4 books by him in it, but I would really love to read Treasure Island. I love the story. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid was Treasure Planet, and it's just as a cool story. So I would really like to read Treasure Island, sorry. I would really like to read Treasure Island. Question 4, a book that I'd like to reread. I chose The Warrior Heir by Cinda Chima. I read this book, I'm gonna say, in middle school. And I actually read the second book first, The Wizard Heir. And I liked it much better than this one, but I bought both of them, and I think I bought the third one recently. And I would really like to reread this series. I liked it, and I never finished it. I think there's 4 books in the series, and I only read 3, so I would like to finish the series. Oops. The next question is a book you've had for a long time that you want to read. So this book is missing the cover. I got it at the library. But Lion Boy by Zizou. I don't remember when I got this book. I just remember I was still in school, so it was at least 8 years ago or more, and I got it and started reading it to my brothers, and we got maybe like 2 chapters in and they got bored. So I never got rid of it. I just kept it. I know it's part of a trilogy, but yeah, I would like to read this. I've had it for a long time. Question 6, a big book that I would like to read. Gemina, Illuminae Files Book 2 by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. So I read the first book, and it was fantastic. And then I went to the bookstore and got this book while I was out of town, and I'm super excited to own it, and I can't wait to read it. I'm super excited. The next question is an author that I've previously read that I would like to read more of. I would really like to read Something Else by Sherry Lynn Kenyon. This is the Chronicles of Nick series. I think there's supposed to be 8 books in this series. And I tabbed this book. If you watched my top 5 books that I read in 2017, you will know that this is my absolute favorite book of all time, not just of 2017. And I just finished the second book today, and so amazing. I've read the first 5, I believe, and I just started over because they were so good, and I absolutely love these books. So I would really like to read more by Sherry Lynn Kenyon. Question 8, a book you got for Christmas that you want to read. I would like to read Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I've heard a lot of good things about Marissa Meyer, and I've heard a lot of good things about this book, and it does sound super interesting to me, even though I only know a couple things about it, but I am really excited to read this book. Super excited. We're done with 1 stack of books. Question 9, a series that you want to read start to finish. So for this, I chose the Six of Crows duology. So I've got Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I'm really excited about these because I read Shadow and Bone and I absolutely loved it. I do want to finish the Shadow and Bone trilogy before I start this series, but I have the first 2 books and I just need the 3rd one. So super excited, cannot wait to read these books. I love Leigh Bardugo. Question 10, a series you've started and want to finish. So I chose the Shadow and Bone series for this question. Like I said, I have the 1st and 2nd, and I've read this one. I have not started the 2nd one. I don't know when I will, but I really want to finish this series because it was so good. The first book was just amazing, and it makes me want to read all of Leigh Bardugo's books. Question 11, how many books do you plan on reading in 2018? So I thought about this for a while. I was thinking, well, I should just double what I read, which I read 50 books this year, which was only in 6.5 months. And I was thinking, well, I should do 100. But I don't know what this year's going to be like, and it might be crazy. So I'm going to shoot for 80, and if I don't make it, that's okay. But I would like to try and read as many books as I possibly can. So I think 80 is a good number. Question 12, a genre that you want to read more of. I would really like to read more contemporary. To complete this goal in 2018, I need to read 2 contemporary books because I read 1 contemporary book this year. And I have this, and I believe 1 other contemporary that I haven't read. So there's my 2 that I need to read. But I read Eliza and Her Monsters, and it was fantastic. It was in my top 5 favorite books of 2017. I don't know if I'm going to read this book. I probably will give it a try. I've never read anything by John Green. But yeah, I would like to read more contemporary this year. Question 13, a book you'd like to get rid of this year, or in my case, a series. I don't know why I got this series. I didn't have it for a long time, and one day I decided, I better have that series, and I don't know why. And that is the Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer. I don't for the life of me know why I have this series now. I am going to attempt to reread it since I have all the books. I did try to read Life and Death, and I think I got a few chapters in and stopped. So I'm going to try to reread this series, but I'm definitely going to get rid of it this year because it's so big. It takes up so much space on my shelf, and I just don't think it's going to be one of those series that I'm like, I have to keep it and reread it next year, so. Oh well. Ugh. Okay, question 14, a series you want to reread. It was kind of hard for me to find another series that I wanted to reread after my video that I posted, but I would like to reread the 100 Cupboards series by N.D. Wilson. I've read this book, The 100 Cupboards, probably 4 or 5 times. I like it that much. In 5th grade, our teacher started to read this book to us and got a good chunk of the way in, at least a third of the way in, and then the class took a vote that we didn't want to finish it. And I was bummed because I was one of the kids who wanted to finish it. The reason we stopped was it set up a lot, and it was very slow in the first half of the book, and the second half of the book, it's like crazy amazing. So I was like, fine, I'll just read it by myself, and I went and checked it out, and I read it, and I absolutely loved it. I have read the second one is, I believe, Dandelion Fire, and the third one is, I can never remember it. But I read all 3 of the books in this trilogy. I've read the second and third once. So I do only have this book. I would have to get the second and third book to finish it. But I would really, really love to reread this series. Question 15. A series ending book you'd want to read. So I chose the 5th book in the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd, 12th Grade Kills. I am currently rereading the first 4 books. I've read the first and second one twice so far, and I will be on the 3rd one. I bought the first book, and I read it. And then immediately afterwards, I went to the store and I bought the second book. And then the trend continued. So I would read the book, and then I would go to the store and I'd get them. I don't know why I didn't just buy them all at the same time. I was really young. I think I was like 14 or something, but I started this book, I got a good chunk of the way in, and then I stopped reading it. So I'm rereading the first 4 to finish the series because I did really enjoy it. I read the first and second, and I think I gave both of them 4 stars. So I do really like the series, and I would love to finish the series. Question 16. A book you would read now because of BookTube. So I've read a lot of books this year that I would not have normally read. Eliza and Her Monsters is one. Illuminate is one. And this one, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, was a gift a long time ago from my grandpa. He likes to give me books that he likes, and they're always adult books, and I'm one of those people who is like, I don't think I want to leave young adult yet. So I kept this book just because he gave it to me. And then I started BookTube, and I heard a lot of people say that The Name of the Wind is amazing. I had a teacher in my senior year of high school say that it was amazing, and I had to read it. And then I also heard that the 3rd book isn't out yet, and it has been years since the 2nd book came out, and everybody's real mad at Patrick Rothfuss for not getting the 3rd book out. And that as soon as I read the 1st, I will have to read the 2nd, and then I will be dying for the 3rd one. So hopefully I like this book. I don't really know anything about it other than it's a fantasy, I think. And yeah, so that's really all I know about it, but I will read it eventually. Question 17. A book you didn't read in 2017 but will read in 2018. So I chose Tunnel Vision by Susan Adrian because I think I got this book in August or September in a book haul from Book Outlet. And I 100% planned on reading it as soon as the box came as the book I was most excited for, and then I didn't, and then it was constantly at the top of my next book to be read list, and it never happened. I do really want to read this book. I've had it in a couple TBRs, I think. Maybe there was a readathon I had it in as a TBR book, and I didn't read it, so I will read it this year. Hopefully I can read it in January, because I do really want to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it. And finally, question 18. A book or series that was recommended to you that you want to read. So, I have this, I don't know what this book series is called, maybe the Crystal Gate series. The first book is Crystal Gate, and the second book is Four Rivers by Karisa DeLay. So, this is a friend of my aunt's, and they are signed to my aunt by Karisa, and I've never met Karisa, but I've heard a lot of things about her, so it's kind of neat to be that close to knowing an actual author. But these are like self-published books, and my aunt really wanted me to read them because she said they were right up my alley. I think they're supernatural books. Sorry if you hear that, that's the snowblower. And she said that I should read them because she really liked them and she thought that I would really like them. So I've had them for a while since she went back to college, so at least 6 months. Maybe 4 months? I don't remember when she went back, but I've had them for a while. I would like to read them so I can get them back to her because that would free up some space on my shelf. And yeah, so hopefully I can get to these. So that is a lot of books to read in next year. That's so many books, but I really want to read books that I own. I think out of the 50 books that I read this year, 2 of them were from the library, and the rest I owned, whether it was physical books or ebooks. So I feel like that's some major progress, and I'm pretty proud of myself for doing that. But this year, I really want to knock down my books that I haven't read that I own. Hopefully get rid of some that I don't like so I can free up some more space for new books. But yeah, I'm hoping these resolutions will help me stay motivated to read these books. So hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully I can do it. But yeah, so that is my New Year's resolution video. Hopefully you guys have some good resolutions, and I hope you meet them in the year of 2018. Hopefully I can meet all of my resolutions. And yeah, so thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!